All right, so many athletes are showing up fueled like it's a sleepover, not a showcase. McChickens, chips, candy, soda, and then they wonder why they are gassed by game two. Parents, I hear you as well. You're doing your best, but between the typical fast food options and the field rules that ban outside food, it can feel like a losing battle. If you've ever struggled with not knowing what to eat on the road, this episode is for you. This is not about being perfect. It's about giving you the real solutions, even when the only options are a gas station, a fast food window, or a concession stand stocked with candy. Because eating right doesn't just affect how you play today, it affects how well you recover and whether you're ready to bounce back for game two or game three. Remember, what you put in before a game determines how well you compete. What you put in after determines how well you recover and whether you're ready to compete tomorrow, the next day, and the next day, and the next day. All right, think about this. You would not put Honda Civic gas in a Ferrari before a race, right? Yet that's what some of you guys, or a lot of you guys, are doing to your body. You say you want to play D1, but you're eating like you're about to make a career out of playing Fortnite. Stop putting in half the effort and expecting the full result. And no, simply eating more, like eating four McChickens and a McDouble after every game, is not the answer. If you want to stand out at a showcase, you want to dominate by game three, it starts with what, when, and how you eat. Let's start with the snacking piece. So I know when you guys are traveling, one of the challenges is, you guys are like, well, fast food's the only option. It's like, okay, and we'll get to that. But what about what you bring? So if you're driving, what are the things that you can keep in your car? What are the things you can snack on while you guys are going to that tournament or that showcase? If you are traveling by plane, one of my clients is just saw a picture. He's flying to once again another state to travel, which a lot of you guys are doing as well. So what do we do when we are on the road a lot, when we're flying? What about snacking? A lot of you guys think that snacks are bad, but really it's what are you putting in those snacks? Are those snacks performance enhancing, or are they snacks that are going to make you feel sluggish and not give you what you need? So just to give you guys some easy options for you that won't melt, won't spoil, and don't need a fridge, I want to start off with one that doesn't have to require a fridge. So if you guys are on the road, if you guys are traveling, think about Greek yogurt. You guys could have a Greek yogurt parfait that's probably 500, 600, even 800 calories. Get a good amount of protein in there, get a good balance, and make it your first snack on the road. So you guys think about, you guys just find, whatever snacks you can find. What if you brought that Greek yogurt as your first snack? And then once it's gone, it's like it's gone. Then you don't have to worry about refrigeration. You just eat it as your first snack and you're fine. Like if it sits there for an hour, it's not gonna kill you. Um, but then there's other options. There's things like PB&Js or turkey sandwiches. Bring a sandwich. Have that either if you have a cool container, great. If you don't, then yeah, just keep it in some foil, keep it in a container, something to keep it um, cool enough for you. And then again, have that as one of your earlier snacks on the road. Then we can get into what are the other options? The trail mixes, the protein bars, the jerky, the things like that, where hey, we're getting protein, we're getting some healthier fats, but then we're also getting some carbs in there too. So, if you get the trail mix, you got protein, carbs, fats, some color in there. You do the protein bars, maybe a banana on the side, depending on, what you're kind of having with that protein bar. The jerky, oh, that's just protein. Maybe you have it with some crackers. You could do rice cakes with peanut butter. There are so many different things you can do that do not require refrigeration. Fruit in general is a great combo to one of those protein options. So again, there's so many good options out there for snacking. You don't have to rely on the gas stations if you plan ahead. Now, you may not be able to bring yogurt on a plane, but you could bring a lot of other things on the plane. And then once you get there, you can get the yogurt and all the other things. Just to give you guys an example, a couple years ago when I started working with one of my clients, baseball clients, they got really good about bringing and or making, once they're at their hotel, sandwiches. They had the yogurts packed in the fridge. They had all these other little snacks to keep him energized, keep him going. Because I know a lot of you guys, your fear about or your struggle with travel ball is not just keeping your energy up, it's keeping your weight up. A lot of you guys lose weight, lose strength, lose energy, and it impacts how well you can perform. And so, what you got to do is make sure that you're eating regularly, that you're bringing these snacks, you're bringing these things to keep you going throughout that whole game and throughout that whole weekend. All right, quick pro tip here. So when we talk about snacks, we also talk about snacks on the field. So as I'm pointing, yeah, literally right by field. When we talk about snacks on the field or in the dugout, the reason why a lot of these teams don't want you to bring outside food, yes, they want to make money, whatever. But the other thing is they don't want the mess. They don't want to have to clean up after your mess. So quick little side tip, let's clean up those wrappers. Let's clean up those little things so that they're not having to clean up after you. All right, let's talk about fast food. Fast food is not the enemy. It's the choices that you make at those fast food spots that actually matter. So just to give you guys some quick examples here. Let's think Chipotle or really any bowl type place. You can get a grilled chicken bowl with the rice, maybe beans. Again, we'll talk about beans in a sec here. And then some fajita veggies. Easy, balanced, light, protein, easy carbs, boom. Now, maybe you only have the traditional fast food. Chick-fil-A, grilled chicken sandwich, fruit cup, some yogurt. Again, carbs, protein, and not a lot of things that are going to add stress there. Then we have the sandwich places, the Subways, the Jimmy John's, the Paneras. There are so many different options at these sandwich places, and I guarantee that almost every place you go, you're going to find a place like a Subway, Jimmy John's, somewhere where you can get sandwiches. The mistake that athletes make with sandwich places is that they just go for any sandwich that looks good on the menu. They want the Italian BMT. They want the double meat, yada, 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 whatever it might be. What you need to do for sandwich places, especially pre-game, is turkey and chicken. Those should be your main proteins pre-game. They're light, they are lean, they're not going to upset your stomach like, say, beef or the bacon or all those other things are going to do to you. And then you get some light sauce. So don't overdo the sauce. Keep it lighter. Go for the lower fat mayos or whatever, so that, again, you keep it light. And then add some fruit on the side, something where, hey, maybe you get a little extra carbs there for some more energy. But again, focus on the things. Think about the foods, those sandwiches that are going to make you feel your best. Now, when fast food is the only option pre-game, let's focus on these key points. Focus on sandwich and bowl places when able. So if you can do a sandwich place, a bowl place, typically you're going to get way more balance there. Focus more on turkey and chicken pre-game, less of the heavy red meats and those traditional deli meats like the ham, the bacon, the salami. Again, those Italian BMTs are not the answer pre-game. Carbs, you need carbs. Now, I don't recommend the French fries. I don't recommend, for a lot of you guys, maybe the beans. Let's focus on the carbs that are going to give you energy and are going to give you steady energy. So you can do whole grains, maybe a whole wheat or something for your sandwich, but let's not do the 20 seed breads. Let's not do the things with a bunch of maybe nuts in them or other things that have a lot of food that's going to be slow digesting, that's going to sit in your stomach longer. Let's not do that pre-game. Let's do the white rices, maybe the brown rices, the bagels, more of those easier to digest carbs and the fruits with that to give you energy. That's going to give you energy for the whole game, going to keep you more steady versus if you try to shove in a bunch of fiber. Fiber is great. You need fiber. I want you guys to be eating more fiber. Most of you guys are not eating enough of it, but let's not shove it in right before a game. Again, the beans may not be the best option depending on how used to or how your body is used to it. If you're a vegetarian, chances are your body can handle beans pre-game. If you're not, then let's not. Let's also avoid these freaking keto breads and these super low carb or high fiber type breads because those are not going to give you energy. Those are going to give you bloating. Those are going to give you a trip to the bathroom. Now, sauces. Again, let's focus on the sauces that are lower fats. Let's focus on the sauces that are going to make you feel good versus the ones that are going to kind of sit in your stomach longer. There may be some really good healthy sauces out there. Guac is good. Avocado is good for you, but we probably don't want to be eating a lot of that like right before games. Let's be intentional about what we are putting in with those sauces and stuff. Let's make sure that we feel good with it. Some mayo, fine. Let's just not dump the mayo on there. And then speaking of fats, let's skip the fried stuff or anything that is going to make you feel heavy, bloated, or sluggish. We are here to perform. We are not here to play games. When you are making a decision on what you are going to eat pre-game, you have to ask yourself, does your performance matter more than the taste of the food that you are putting in? Think about that. Do you care more about what a food looks like or tastes like, or do you care more about what it does for your performance? That mindset shift can completely change. If you really process that, it can completely change the way that you see and understand food. All right, let's talk about between games. A lot of you guys ask me, what should I eat between games? You've got a tournament. You've got back-to-back games. You have back-to-back events as maybe a track athlete. What should you eat between games? The answer? It depends on the time window. So if you only have 30 minutes or less between a game or an event, we're just going to focus on carbs. A lot of you are like, oh yeah, eat the protein bars. It's like, bro, protein bar is not going to give you energy. You're not going to see any spikes, nothing going on there. So if you want to perform better in that next game, let's get some carbs in there. Let's start with the fast digesting carbs, like the fruit snacks, like maybe the pure organic fruit bars, the bananas, the oranges, the apple sauces, maybe watermelon, the sports drinks that have sugar in them. You're burning all of that sugar. So that sugar is not the end of the world when you are performing at a high level. So again, let's get that sugar. But then what if you have more time? Say you have 30 to 60 minutes. You could add a little bit more to that. You don't have to, and you probably shouldn't just rely on simple carbs if you have a little bit more of a window, unless your stomach's a little sensitive. If you have more of time between, let's do maybe a half of a PB&J. Let's do maybe some bagel with some peanut butter or something. Let's do maybe a turkey wrap. Again, keep it light. Some yogurt with granola. Basically, your goal is to get a little bit more slow digesting carbs, but nothing too heavy. And then you might be, at this point, 30, 60 minutes, you're going to be adding a little bit more protein in there, but still you're going to keep it pretty light. If you got more than 60 minutes, again, this is going to depend on where your body is at, what your body can handle. Because I know some of my athletes who can eat anything an hour before a game versus others who need more easier to digest things. But in general, if we lean on, again, protein, focus on the carbs, maybe a little bit of fats, but again, typically more like TV, peanut butter, things like that, things that are, not going to upset your stomach so much. Easy. Yeah, things like that. So grilled chicken sandwich. Even, again, turkey sandwich. Maybe a whole sandwich instead of half of one. Maybe 2 sandwiches instead of 1. Maybe a grilled chicken and rice bowl. Maybe pasta salad with grilled chicken. Again, think about the things that are going to make you feel light. They're going to make you feel energized, going to make you perform well. But key tip for snacking between games. Start with the quick carbs. Then you follow up with something more sustaining like the proteins and whatnot. So by focusing on the simple carbs, those quick digesting carbs right off the bat, it's going to help you get your energy up faster. And then the rest of the food that you put in afterwards is going to help you maintain it longer. So think about it like you're putting the Ferrari. Ferrari turns onto the road first. It's going to get to its destination a lot faster than the minivan. We want to get that Ferrari on the road and get it to its destination faster than the minivan. It's going to create less traffic, less slowdown. Versus if you're like, I'm just going to pull the minivan on the road, the semi is going to go, and then you got to figure out, okay, this Ferrari is going to go afterwards. That Ferrari could have gotten off on and off the road a lot quicker if you would have let it go first. So let the fast car go first, get it to your muscles, and then let the minivan come in afterwards to, get to its destination. Then it'll get to your muscles more on a slower pace, and it'll allow you to have more steady energy, just like traffic would be a lot steadier in that case. Again, I highlight this too because a lot of you guys want to rely on these protein bars. You have this quick turnaround between games, and instead of actually getting some good carbs in there, you guys are like, let me just shove down the protein. Again, protein does not give you energy the way that you want it to. Yes, protein is important for building and sustaining muscle, but you need the carbs. You need the energy. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to perform the way that you should. And when we talk about recovery too, this is a whole nother topic, is that post-workout recovery. But let's make sure we're getting carbs in there too. Carbs are going to give you energy. The science shows that if you are not getting in carbs post-workout, you are not going to perform as well the next day. So this is why I stress it's not just about pregame. Yes, that's important. And it's not just about protein post-workout or post-game. It's about the carbs. You will not perform as well the next day if you are not getting carbs in right after your workouts, right after your games, within that first hour. You are not going to perform as well. Now, don't aim to be perfect. Aim to be intentional. You do not have to have this perfect freaking diet locked in when you are on the road all summer. You just have to be intentional and strategic about what you are putting in. The food that you put in does not have to be Instagram worthy. It doesn't have to impress a bunch of people. It's got to serve its purpose. It has to help you play better, recover faster, and keep showing up at your best. So remember, what you do off the field determines how you perform on the field. Now, make sure that you are sending this to your teammates. Parents, share this in the team group chat. Share this with your other parents who need to hear and know what to put in their athletes' bodies. Coaches, drop this in that parent thread, whether it be an email thread, a group chat, whatever it is. Make sure you're dropping this to your families if you want your team to perform better. We're all trying to help athletes show up at their best and play to their potential. So if you want that, make sure you're sharing these episodes, especially this one. This is very practical. And if you want more tools like this, so if you want PDFs, guides, resources, the content, all the things, check the show notes. I actually dropped a link to my my link tree, which you go to there and you're going to find a lot of different free resources on my website, including things like this, including that travel nutrition, the fast food, all those things are in there. So make sure you are checking that out. And as always, keep striving for greatness.